people just figured, hey, let me try and make up my own kind of, you know, beats or rhythms to compensate for the lack of music.
Sometimes it seems the going is just too rough, and things go wrong no matter what I do. Now and then
Typical for house music back in the day to try to give it a harder edge. Something soft like that with a hard beat like that. Nothing like what hardcore is today, but back then this was our hardcore, believe me. And then take the beat out, bring the beat back. Beat out, beat back in. Record with beats, a cappella, both together. To take it to a higher significance, when you turn the drum machine on, you just play beats, people would just scream. You take the kick drum out, bring it back in, and just scream all night.
And they would do these tracks so that when they DJ'd, you know, everybody would run to the DJ booth and go like, wow, what's that? What's new? What's, you know, man, what's that? And so it was sort of like a status thing. It became a status thing. Who could come up with the hottest track?
Competition between DJs was getting intense.
I would say right around 83, 84. My DJ name was Steve Silk Hurley, and I said I was gonna start calling myself Jackmaster Silk. And Farley was my roommate at the time.
And when he said that, I was like, how can you change your name to Steve Jackmaster Hurley? I'm the real Jackmaster because I put this like, I do that in all my records, and I sample it, right?
By Friday, his name was changed to Farley Jackmaster Funk.
I went and said, Farley Funk and Keith is dead. He no longer exists. There's a new guy in town. His name is Farley Jackmaster Funk. Needless to say, Steve was on his way to the radio station with his tape, ready to make the new announcement that he is going to change his name to Steve Jackmaster Hurley, and I almost ran to a pole.
I couldn't believe it. It was the worst.
In 1983, a new club opened in Chicago, the Music Box. Its DJ Ron Hardy had an intensity that took clubbing to a whole new dimension.
This was Ron's club. This was definitely, and nobody else's. It was owned and ran by Robert Williams, but it was Ron Hardy's club.
He would never, ever not be there. You know, the kids would not even come if he wasn't there. Ron had people just, I don't know, losing their minds down there.
You would hear this music. I mean, you didn't even have to be this close. I mean, as soon as you turn the corner, you just hear this thumping, beating music.
It was the loudest music I'd ever heard in my life. I mean, it physically shook me. I'm not talking about like emotionally, I'm talking about physically. It was so loud that it would move me in my, it would move me when they bring in the bass, boom, boom, boom. I would shake, right, like that.
Ronnie would keep you going and keep you going. That's why they call him Heart Attack Hardy. He would keep you going and going and going until you like just actually have a heart attack.
And then all I know is the people were screaming Ron Hardy's name. Ron Hardy, pump that Ron Hardy, doing all this. And I was like, oh, nobody screamed like that for me before.
There will never be another place like that where Ron Hardy was doing what he was doing. I mean, this man, it was like voodoo with dance music, you know? If I had to think about it today, or if I was thinking about it when I was playing records every time, I wouldn't play. I would stop, because I'd look at these people, I'd look at these clubs, I'd say, this is bullshit, and I would just leave. That's why I can't think about it, because there's no comparison. It just makes everything else shit.
We're a long way from home. Welcome to the Pleasure Dome. On our way home.
He opened every night with Welcome to the Pleasure Dome.
Long way from home. Welcome to the Pleasure Dome.
We fade real fast. That's because he was high on heroin and things were kind of sounding slow to him, you know. So he speeded it up. And in doing so, he speeded the party up.
All type of drugs went around there.
Yeah, I mean, acid was big, MDA was big, MDA, which is a precursor of ecstasy. You know, and MDA and stuff like that, you just mixed it in a cocktail and gulped it down.
Or eat it, or licked it.
Yeah, well, licking it was a hard way to take that shit, boy. Oh my God, I mean, that's just like straight into your system, you know, and it tasted terrible.
Going home, a lover's home, long way from home. Welcome to the pleasure
dome. We were kind of into this punk out era, and playing music like some of the Blondie tunes and the B-52s.
Rock Lobster. And when they did the part where it said, down, 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 everybody went down on the ground.
We'd come out of craft work and go into, you know, One Nation Under a Groove.
So it was like a really weird time for music because you had all these black kids dancing to punk music.
Basically, when we were doing the punk out age, it was basically you would take a woman, you would bend her over, and you were just there, just basically grinding on her ass, dancing. This was punking out. And that kind of, then when jacking came about, just kind of carried over from that.
Jacking, first became aware of jacking at the music box.
It was just part of the language, part of the culture. Just people say, you know, I'm going to go down to the box, you know, I'm going to jack my body.
It would be like maybe one girl, and it would be 7 guys dance with one girl, and she'll be in the middle, and they would be in a circle around her, and they would jack, which was like she might be bent over or something, they would be standing behind her.
Guys jacking women, guys jacking guys, girls jacking girls.
Jacking with this fucking speaker was always a hometown favorite.
Or the wall.
You know, or the wall, whatever was handy.
If you were lucky enough to have a person with you, then yeah, you're jacking to that person. But if you didn't, you find a pole, you find a wall, it fills a doorway. You just get on the door and you just jack in your body. All night long.
And it was also really kind of contagious. You know, once you would start in one part of the dance floor, before you knew it, everybody was engaged in this sexual pantomime.
I've even heard some stories about more than just the jacking going on behind the speakers.
And I mean, you could do all sorts of freak shit on the floor. You know, I mean, no shit, you could be grabbing girls' breasts, you could be putting your finger in certain places, you know, I mean, on the
TV,
floor.
Watch yourself.
yeah, this TV, right, sorry.
In the music box, they were having sex.
You know. You could do all sorts of unspeakable things on the dance floor, but that was on the dance floor. That was like its own world.
Once the lights came on and the party was over with.
Yeah, then you were going home.
This place is probably responsible for some children.
Everybody that I took there, it changed their lives. Everybody, it did. It inspired everybody I know.
House was about to produce its very first star. In 1984, a demo tape unlike any other spread like a virus through the clubs of Chicago.
My friend had a copy of 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 a copy. One guy would get a copy of a tape from Frankie, and it would be copied thousands of times all over the city.
There was this one little sequence line, and it was just like a 3-note line and just repeated. But when that came on, everyone knew that was Your Love. I mean, the crowd, everybody, it was a big thing.
Everybody was singing along with the song. Everybody, in the whole crowd. And it was the shit. The track was bumping. It was the shit.
Jamie was God to us. We had no idea he was like a kid in his bedroom making music. I thought Jamie was a millionaire in Europe somewhere. I didn't even know he was black.
I hear the song, and I just remember the reasons why I wrote it. So, but a lot of people tell me, you know, that song touched me and this, and I'm grateful, you know, that happened for them.